I totally forgot to show you guys how to check this on a calculator, so I'm just going to do it now. Sorry. Not sorry. All right, the part that I plug into the calculator is not necessarily the first step. I typically plug in the second step where I made it equal 0. So I'm going to do x plus 2 squared minus 25. The reason that I'm not doing the last step is because I might have made a mathematical error somewhere in the problem, so I want to plug in something as close to the original as possible. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and graph this. And just what I want to verify is that the numbers that make this less than 0 really are between -7 and 3. So if I plug in -7, that equals 0 exactly, so it was good for me to not include that. If I plug in 3, that equals 0 exactly, so that was good for me to not include that. And then if I plug in numbers between them, they're all negative. You don't have to keep plugging them all in, but I'm kind of proving my point there. You can see it visually too if you're able to read graphs easily visually as well. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing with the next one. I'm going to do, again, as close to the original as possible, 5 divided by x minus 6 minus 1 divided by x plus 2, and I'm being careful to put the denominators in parentheses. And then I'll go ahead and graph that. So I'm going to check -4. If I plug in -4, I do get 0, so it was good of me to include that. If I plug in -2, I get nothing, so it was good for me to not include -2. If I plug in 6, I get nothing, so it was good for me to not include that. And then numbers between -4 and -2, like -3, that's a positive, so it was good for me to have that as my answer since I wanted the positive answers. And then anything bigger than 6 are all also positive. Something like this, if you wanted to check your decimals, you could. Again, that's a positive number. So I know my answers are good.